I want my life back. I want to be the
Mm.
master of my own destiny.
Hello, light keepers and trailblazers and leaders. It's Michele Phillips, and I'm very excited. We are doing something new on the Write Your Outcome podcast. We are doing the live coaching segment. And today I have with me Liz Benuscak from New York, Rockland, New York, who is going to we're going to walk her through the Write Your Outcome process. So hello, Liz. Welcome.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I am excellent. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I'm going to be better when we're done, right? You're going to fix
Yes,
me.
yes, you
No
are.
pleasure.
Yeah. So, and this is good. So, truth be told, Liz is going through a transition in her life. Her and I have discussed this ahead of time. Some of the things she's going through. And here's the thing, anyone listening, every single one of us is transitioning. Every day is a new day. Every day is a transition. Every day there's some new ingredient in the cake, so to speak. So Liz, actually, before I go to you, let me just go to you first. Tell me what you're experiencing and what the transition entails for you right now.
So my life has been in flux for a couple of years now. I am separated recently. It's 2.5 years actually since we separated. I can't believe it's been that long. And my ex-husband moved out of the house in February. And just when I thought I was getting everything back together and my life was going to be, my own and I could do what I want, my mother wound up having some health issues that landed her into assisted living. I'm an only child. So, I had to manage that process for her, and happily so. She's my mother, she took care of me. And we joke around and we say, this is my, karmic retribution for being a rebellious teenager. So I'm a realtor, and like any sales job, if you don't put the time in for prospecting and building your business, when you need that business to be there for you, it's not, unless you've done the work. And my life completely took me in another direction. And in the meantime, professionally, in addition to being a realtor, I'm also the director of development for my brokerage. So I'm in theory, I got the best gig in the world. I'm a paid realtor, right? But that role is keeping me from focusing on my business. And now that, I'm 100% responsible for, my financial life, that I'm single, in my 50s. I don't have a choice. I got to get my proverbial crap together. And I need to come to terms with, do I stay in this role and to have a little bit of stability? Or do I let go of my leadership position in some capacity or totally, and go back into production? And here's the thing. I know that I can sell real estate because I've sold real estate, so it's like, am I ready, willing, and able to go back into that grind? Because while I love it, that presents its own challenges. So this is sort of like, where I'm at with that.
Thank you. And first, one of those things alone would be enough to send someone, stress someone out or bring on anxiety. But
this is why there's wine in therapy. Okay?
Yes, yeah. It's true. The only wine we allow here is the drinking kind, because we get to write our own outcomes. And leaving a marriage is a big decision. And I always ask people, because I know for myself, I always say, how many years did you know before you actually left? Because, and you don't have to answer that if you don't want to, but I think I knew 5 years before I actually walked out the door that the marriage was over. So there's a lot of mental, emotional stress with that. Then dealing with an aging parent, an only child, let's put that on top of it. So only child, now being the sole breadwinner, as they say, and, making these decisions. So any normal person, anyone listening, you could feel them. I feel those emotions. So I'm going to just turn it back to you, because in Write the Outcome, the first step in Write Your Outcome is, where am I? Tune in. And I really tune into what you're feeling. So when we talk about all these things, what are the emotions that come up for you?
Yeah, it's a myriad. Some of it is frustration, because as much as, what's that saying? We plan, God laughs, right? Like this is what I was dealt in terms of where I am in my life right now. So I am definitely frustrated because it's taken my focus off of, or my eye off the prize, as it were. But I will also feel grateful that I was able to take care of my mom and help her make that transition. And, now she said, I have to sell my house. Are you okay to be my realtor? I'm like, you really? Like, yeah. Okay. But it's managing all of that. There is, as much as the separation and subsequent divorce needed to happen, it's sad when a marriage ends, And as we speak, I am going to be officiating a wedding ceremony later today for a very close friend's son, which I was so honored that they asked me. And I've had a wedding season 5 in 2 months. Wow. It's like, really, like, I'm so broke. It's not even funny.
God is laughing hard here.
But when you go to a wedding, I don't know how anybody else feels, but I immediately think of my own wedding, right? And 31 years ago, I never would have thought that this is where I would be. And that doesn't mean that I regret ending the marriage, but it's just sort of disenchanting. A good thing is that I have recently met an incredibly wonderful man who I'm like over the moon about. And if by the time this airs we're not together, you get over yourself because you weren't all that. And if we're still together, well, you lucky man.
What happens when people try to say affirmations or wish something, they don't connect their head, their heart, and their gut together. So their beliefs, their thoughts.
So you want me to do that? My head, my heart, my gut?
Not yet. I want to identify your emotions. So
so the emotions are frustration, sadness, fear, and hope. So it's kind of like all over the place.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because they say the research says we have 27 emotions an hour, and that's a lot. And it's the emotions aren't who we are. I know, right? They're what we're feeling in that moment. So we can go from, like you said, I'm grateful that I'm taking care of my mother, but man, this is a lot as a single, as an only child, and I want to be here to help, and the fear. So realizing they ping pong all over the place is part of it. And so the next step is really just feeling those emotions, and where you feel them in your body. Sometimes I get a knot in my neck. Where do you feel sadness? Where do you feel hope? And just starting to, if your body could speak to you, what would it say to you?
So funny. When I feel sadness, I feel it as a burning in my throat for some reason.
Yeah, choked up.
When I feel stress, choked up. When I feel stress, it's the knots in my neck, you can always tell when I'm stressed. You touch me and it's like a rocks there. And I feel hope in my tummy. It's a warm,
Yeah, it's really important to just, And what we're doing here, Liz, thank you for being my first, live coaching, is really just tuning in, because our body is always speaking to us. It's always saying, and whenever my voice gets tight, it's like, oh my God, Michele, what did I say that I shouldn't have said? Or what do I need to say that I didn't know in my own voice or my own needs?
Right.
Because I listen, and if I'm disconnected from my heart or myself, it's because I put someone else's needs first. And in your reading about your mom, like, you're putting your kids first and putting your mom first and putting everyone first. And now Liz is like saying, okay, what do I want? Like, where do I fit in this? So when you feel the fear, the question is, does it keep you up at night? Is it something that comes in and out? Like, how are you experiencing it?
Well, it's interesting that you say that. So, and indulge me for 1 second. I'm going to go back a tiny bit, right? So when things were really going poorly at the end of my marriage and the subsequent aftermath, if I woke up in the middle of the night and my wheels started spinning, that was it. I was up. It didn't matter how tired I was, because you can't shut your brain off. Since that is no longer a concern, because I have resolution there, right? I sleep much better. Where this situation has me, out of sorts or famished, for lack of a better word. I'm sure there is a better word, but it just suits me. Is that I need to make positive and substantive change professionally. My personal life has resolved itself. And, full disclosure, you and I have been friends for many, many years. And you've watched me go through this transition of working a lot of things out. So I think part of the challenge that I have faced is that because I was in such a personally not great place for so long, my central nervous system was on fire. Like, I couldn't relax. I didn't sleep. If I slept, I was up at 4:30 in the morning, and I was running because I didn't want to sit down and look at what I really needed to be emotionally healthy and to do all the work that I needed to do, right? And I wore it like a badge of honor. Dope.
Oh my gosh, can I stop you? You're making so many good points and helping so many people. You said 3 really important things. We sometimes, when we get into that emotional cycle, we think it's normal to be in the frenzy all the time, right? We're just busy and moving. And, the fact that you didn't want to look, right, is so important.
Oh, good.
So many people do that. And you said one more thing and it went out of my head, but it'll come back. You said one more thing and I can't remember. Anyway.
My central nervous system? I don't know.
Well, yeah, so your central, you think it's normal, you're afraid to look, and you said one more thing and it'll come back, but don't worry about it now. So now it's like realizing that you always have more power than you think. And we start to talk ourselves into this tizzy of this repeat. It's like rinse and repeat. Like we keep, you wore it like a badge of honor. That's what you said. That's what we do. We go, I'll just buckle down. I'll just power through. I'm strong. And to be strong, first of all, you're so, so courageous for even coming on this as my first, episode. Not my first episode, but my first module of this. And to realize that all of us have.
That's right.
Thank you. I feel that. All of us have these sleepless nights. All of these anxieties. All of us try to act like we have it all figured out and we don't. So Liz, your bravery, your courage to just talk this through with me is so important. And so it's going to help so many people. So let me ask you, what's the outcome? I mean, you filled out a form for me. So, the next step. So first it's tune into where you are. I'm feeling frustrated, but yet I'm feeling grateful, but I'm feeling overwhelmed and I've got fear and these emotions are all over. Then the next step is, what's the outcome you want, right? Needing to make a career change after a divorce and getting your mother settled in an assisted living. So what's the outcome you're looking to achieve?
Okay, so one of the beauties of real estate is that you control your own destiny. There's no guaranteed paycheck, but what you put in, you get out. It's kind of pretty much the way with anything, right? But we're going to liken it to real estate today. I want my life back. I want to be the master of my own destiny. I am very, very lucky to work with a brokerage that is nothing but love and support. And they really pour into their agents. The ironic thing is that as the director of development, I am pouring into the agents, right? So I'm the coach for our office, and I will sit down and I will do business coaching. And, as you know, this isn't your first rodeo. As a matter of fact, I learned more from you in my coaching business than, ever, because you were always so generous with that, is that there's the lines, nothing is clear, right? Personal, professional, that everything weaves in and out of one another. So it's an interesting situation when you look at that. So I know I'm where I want to be from a brokerage perspective. Okay. And I also know that I have a decent enough reputation. Yeah, right. But if I decided I wanted to go someplace else, I'm sure there would be a bunch of shops that would take me, hopefully. But I don't want to leave where I am. I just finally want it all to be about me. Does that make sense? Like and it's, you know me, that's not how I roll. Like I'm always taking care of everybody else. I have to take care of myself now from a professional standpoint, like I did personally. And it's coming to terms with that.
Hello, I am interrupting this podcast to give a plug for my brand new book, Energize Your Happiness. I am so proud of this book, and I can't wait for you to read it or listen to it, because it will be on audio as well. And I just want you to know you don't have to push so hard. You don't have to be so stressed. You have all this beautiful energy inside you. And when you learn to manage the energy, when you learn to focus your energy, everything starts to fall into place. So energize your happiness, tap into your personal energy, and shape your destiny comes directly from my heart to your heart. It's available on lulu.com. It's available on amazon.com. And if you'd like a personally signed copy, go to energizeyourhappiness.com, and I will personally sign and autograph a copy and ship it out to you. So Energize Your Happiness is available right now. It makes a great gift for the holidays. And if you're hearing this after the holidays, it makes a great gift for Valentine's Day, New Year's, you name it. It makes a great gift. Make it a great day. Back to the podcast. If you had to write your new outcome, I'm just going to try to put together some of the things you said. You want to be the master of your own destiny. You want to pour into yourself versus everybody else and take care of yourself. It's kind of like the old, the ad, put your oxygen mask on first. So you want to fill yourself up personally. And I think I read in here somebody, as far as health wise too, you want to take better care of your health or energy. I don't know what I read in here. Make the money you need to be self-sufficient and be the master of your destiny. So if that's the outcome you want, that's beautiful. So then it's the resistance, like you said already, well, that's not me. So what's that little voice in your head say when you say, I want to be the master of my destiny. I want to put myself first. I want to take care of myself and pour into myself. And then what's the little, skepticism or doubts, or what comes up when you say that to yourself?
I'm a people pleaser, right?
Mm.
This is like part of my persona, adult child of an alcoholic, all this stuff. So been through the therapy, got that on lockdown. But I'm very accustomed to putting myself last. It's so funny when people hear that I'm an only child, they're like, really? You're an only child? Like, the only child stigma, the me, 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 me.
Yeah.
I don't do that, So it's foreign for me, especially because there are people at the office, my agents, that depend on me, that count on me, that I am their, work person, the work wife, whatever. That is their cheerleader and their coach and, their sounding board. And I guess I could still do that on a friend level, but it needs to change because I have to take care of me. And I have to be
Yeah, so
okay and
let me
comfortable
ask you a
taking care of
question.
me.
Let me ask you a question. When you think, if you just really think into yourself about just pleasing everybody and doing, I mean, you are just a beautiful personality. You're a giving person. You're funny. And you're just so genuine and real. And you just give, give, give. But when you think of Liz in the scenario, what is Liz getting out of you? What are I guess the emotions that maybe are not so pretty that come up after you've given to everybody else and you're exhausted at the end of the day and you haven't given to you?
I don't know. I think exhaustion can be an emotion, right? As well as a physical state. So depleted. When we look at the personality assessment and, extrovert, introvert, blah, blah, blah. This is your wheelhouse, right? So what is it? Introvert, extrovert, thinking, sensing, perceiving, feeling. There was an
Thinking, feeling, sensing, intuiting.
Okay. So with the other of the four categories, every time I take either Kiersey or Myers-Briggs or whatever, I am right down the center of every one of them, with the exception of the introvert extrovert, right? So for me, I used to be 100% the extrovert. I'm now like 75% the extrovert as opposed to, because you're supposed to come in alignment with both of those. I get my energy from social interaction. And I get filled up that way. So in some instances, it served me well in the past because it's given me the ability to, feed off of other people's positive energy and to use that to get me through very difficult times.
Yeah.
And conversely, now I need to do something that is foreign to me and a little scary, in that I got to pull inward. And I have to dig deep in a way that I really haven't done in a very long time. Because, when you're so used to taking care of everyone else and you put yourself in that position of, okay, it's time to pour into me, I kind of don't know how to do that. It's not, I don't know.
Okay.
And the other thing, and this is something that I'm not comfortable admitting, but it's true, is that being in a leadership role is incredibly gratifying. Because the success that your people have in many ways becomes the success of that leader, right? I always talk about how when my agents overcome something, a challenge that they've had. They master a skill that they needed to, whatever it is in their business. And then they see the fruits of those labors. You would think that it was my success personally. I'm so happy for them. I get so excited, right? Because it's like they did it and they got there, whatever.
And what's missing is Liz, and that's what I want to bring us back to. So you said
it's easier for me to pay attention to them than it is for me to pay attention to them.
So, and being extroverted, I'm an extrovert, we're both extroverts. And, when you go out in the world and you're good at talking to people and you're good at making people laugh and you're just the life of the party, Liz, and people love to be around you. Sometimes I say it's important to not lose Liz in those things, because when you think about your thought, connecting your head to your heart and your gut, then you're all in. So they say that, I love the saying, the cake is baked with love. And that means that the baker put their whole self into it. And right now you're putting part of yourself into it. You're almost putting your thoughts and your energy into other people, but you're not putting your whole heart and your whole gut, because you're kind of leaving you at the sidelines. But the beauty in this and writing the new outcome is the new, Liz 3.0 or whatever we want to call you. They say that, life doesn't give us what we want, but it gives us what our spirit needs sometimes. And this is like the perfect time for you to reinvent and to really, so with the write your outcome technique, it's, really when you're feeling, looking at the form you filled out, like when you're frustrated because and this is where the tug of war is. This is where the split energy comes in. You like helping other people. You like being the leader. You like this role, but yet you have this other side. So it's almost like if people are watching me, I have my two hands and they're pulled apart. It's when my two hands are pulled apart, I'm not as sturdy, but when I clasp them together, I'm strong. So it's taking what you want, plus and becoming that stronger person so you can move from the frustration, because when you're doing for everybody else for so long, it's like, well, what about me? Well, then I don't know how to take care of me. So I just keep doing for everybody else. And then you said depleted. So when you're feeling that depletion, so what's one tiny thing you could start to do that will help you flip your script and recast your role? Like, let's talk about the new and improved Liz Benuscak.
Okay, so we might be new and improved, or we might just go back to the things that have worked before to reinvent, right? I don't know.
Combination.
I have a journal, not a journal, a planner. Right here. And this was my Bible. I use this every morning. And when I open it up and I look, I went from stopping using this, personal summer. I went from stopping using this book in March when everything fell apart with my mom, and I didn't get back to it until today. And so there's a huge gap. And this is what sets my course for the morning and the day, right? Because it's the kind of thing where if I don't, I was rudderless. That's really what it was. I had no direction and I was just flying by the seat of my pants. And
now that you landed, if I ran into you, I'm going to ask you a question. Let's say I run into you a year from now and you say, oh my God, Michele, I've done the work in the past year and I'm manifesting like crazy. Tell me, like, I run into you in the coffee shop. What would you say to me? Let's pretend we're in the coffee shop a year from now.
We're in the coffee shop. Okay. I have a full pipeline in my business. I've got 20 deals that have closed in the last year since we spoke. I'm making plans to grow my team again. And I'm having a great time in real estate.
Are you still in the leadership role?
Not in this capacity.
Listen to everything in your face and body right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes the titles sound good on paper, but they don't feel good in real life. And everything in your body and face just said, you don't want that right now.
Yeah, I don't want that right now. I need to focus on myself.
Yeah. So having, closed 20 sales, lots of things in the pipeline, having a great old time doing this, not in the leadership role, maybe feeling some freedom, right? From just being responsible for you for a little while, now starting to form a team. So what's one small step you could take today to move you in that direction?
It's not a small step. I just quit my job. Like, you know, um,
So you did quit.
well, we started having conversations about what this is going to look like.
And let me just
And
stop you there too, because when you take that irreversible step, that will help you get to where you want to go quicker.
right, I agree. The other thing that came up, I mean, I was being sassy about this relationship that I was talking about, but it actually is very significant. Um, after being separated for 2.5 years, it was wonderful to meet somebody that, like, I never thought I would have that in my life again. And the beauty of being a realtor is this is my office. Okay. I could be anywhere in the world. This is my office.
Listening.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm sorry.
I want to, hold on. I just want to say this and then I want to enjoy that too. So there's other motivations. So once I get to a place where I can either completely leave this leadership role or put it in its proper place within my life. And that's really one of the things that I need to describe. Am I leaving altogether, or am I going to keep a toe in? I don't know.
All right. So let's break this down. I want to break it down, and then I want to get to some action steps. So it's, lots of transition in your life, lots of different feelings, emotions, frustration to fear, to gratitude, to hope. The new outcome is master of my destiny, rocking and rolling in the real estate business, closing deals left and right, and just having a flipping great time. And then the action is the irreversible step, which, if you go in and say, I'm not working here anymore, I'm working in a different role, then it's like, you got to, once you put your money where your mouth is, then you have to do some things differently. So you can then start busying yourself like crazy with real estate, because now you got to make money and forget about Liz. Remember that internal Liz work. Or you could make a decision right now that you're going to do both. So what,
Well, I think both have to happen. Here's the thing, Michele. And just, you know some of this because, we're personal friends, right? But for so long, I just dealt with what was in front of me right here and nothing else. And that it served its purpose. It was a means to an end, but that's not where I can be anymore. I just can't.
So that's where I want to get to some actionable, doable things that you can commit to. So what are some things you would like to implement?
Okay. So I have to walk my talk, right? The way you start your day is the most important thing. If you start your day doom scrolling and, messing around with nonsense, this is the outcome you're going to have for the rest of your day. And then days turn into weeks, months, years, and it's no good. Exactly. So I'm going to start my day with prayer and meditation and exercise, start walking again on a regular basis. And then doing my, journaling and my work in my planner so that I'm being strategic.
Okay. So let's break it down. Okay. I want to slow you down because these are like, it's like New Year's Day. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to work in the journal. I'm going to.
No. I get it.
Yeah. All so let's break it down realistically. How does that look? How does your week look when you do that?
Okay. So my week, why don't we just break it down to a day? Okay. Up at 6 a.m., which is very reasonable.
Is that normal for you?
It's actually later than I used to get up, believe it or
Okay.
not. So up at because the thing is, I'm making sure that I am sleeping. So I'm up at 6, doing the meditation, spiritual piece first thing in the morning. Once that's done,
And I'm pushing you a little bit, Liz. I want to stop you there.
okay,
Have you
sure.
had consistency with either meditation or praying in the morning in the past?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Okay, good.
As a matter of fact, the meditation and prayer got me through some super duper dark times, like really, really
Okay.
rough times. So I'm looking forward to doing them in in better times where it can be, you know, moving from survival to thriving, you know.
Yeah. And do you see the
So,
difference on the days that you meditated and the days that you didn't and how
oh
you
yeah,
felt?
forget it.
Yeah.
My mindset was in the freaking crapper. I was, negative and cranky and rather bitchy. And, if anybody knows me, that's really, I mean, I can be acerbic at times, but I'm not negative. I don't, generally go. If I'm negative, there's bad shit's going down. Like it's just no good. But yes, so because your mindset is everything, right? Is the glass half empty or half full? And is the glass full with toxic waste? Like what's going on with that glass, So when I'm meditating and I'm keeping myself with affirmations and the and reactivity and how I react. What is it? E plus
Sorry,
O
cool down.
equals R, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder who taught me that. So, it's the kind of thing where, so the mindset and the meditation has to start. So that's a half hour and then just walk out the door and walk for 30 minutes. It's now 7:00. I get back home, clean up so I don't offend the people. And then, sit down and go through my day, my goals, what I need to do. And at that point, it's now 8:00, 8:15. And then I start
Okay, so
prospecting and doing the
let me
things.
do a visualization with you. Why don't you
Okay.
close your eyes and we're going to do, this is Liz 1 year from now. So just close your eyes and I want you to imagine, you wake up in your bed and you just kind of stretch and you just feel absolutely amazing. You get right up, there's no hitting the snooze button, brush your teeth and you go down to your favorite chair, maybe put on a little meditation music and you sit for at least 15 minutes. And in those 15 minutes, your breath is deep and long. Your heart rate relaxes. And you feel like this energy just go through your whole entire body. And now, at the gong at the 15-minute mark, you just feel like you just had another nap, a power nap. You get up, you put on your walking clothes. It's a beautiful, crisp fall morning. You do your, walk, and on your walk, you notice the sky and you feel the air and you hear the crunching under your feet and you just feel good in your body. Like your body is serving you. It just feels energetic and strong and healthy. And you come back in and you take a shower and you put on this beautiful new outfit you just bought. You're looking so sharp because you have a closing at 9:30. And when you open the door to go in that closing, the clients are excited to see you. You're excited to give them have the closing so they can move into their home. And this is the new Liz 3.0. So take 2 deep breaths and then just come back to the room with me.
I like that.
How did that feel?
Fabulous.
So now, anytime you're making a decision during your day, this is the new outcome you're writing. You're writing this outcome as this vibrant, healthy, energetic, well-dressed, sales closing, real estate mogul. So when you make your decisions during the day, you have to keep thinking of write your outcome over and over. So sometimes, like, I have teachers that inspire me, like my yoga instructor. And sometimes when I go to eat something, I'm like, would she eat that? She wouldn't eat that. So if she wouldn't eat that, I'm not going to eat that, because I want to write my outcome if I want to be
Right.
healthy and strong. So, again, the next thing is to, like, use your affirmations, keep using your journaling, and then really doing the deep work. And the deep work is, for me, journal. You could write a letter to your soul every morning. You can open your journal and say, dear soul, what do you want me to know today?
Right.
And then just write what comes to you. And that's how you get to know yourself. And you do that for 30 to 90 days. And it's not, I promise you, it's not as scary as you think. How does that sound?
It sounds good. Listen, everything that you've said, I understand. We have to pour into what we want in a very intentional way. It's the coaching that I do with my people, right? So it has to be done now for me, as opposed to, me just doing it for everybody else. So.
And that's where I want to, us to, finish up with is, do you feel you have the tools you need now to go forward and do something different based on our conversation, or will it just be more of the same? What's going to shift for you? What has shifted for you?
I think I always had these tools, right? It's a matter of accessing them in an appropriate way. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. The coach needs a coach. The therapist needs a therapist. Yeah.
And it's not, I always say, it's not the knowledge, it's the application of knowledge, right? That gets us where we want to go.
So, you painted for me a beautiful picture. And we attached a feeling to it. So just because something's a rough road doesn't mean it's not a road worth traveling. And, so do I have the tools? I think I have the majority of them. If I need to get more, I'll get training, coaching. I have this friend. She's a really good coach. I'll call her. She'll help me take my hand out of my room.
And I want to really give you credit for what you've done already with your marriage, with your mother, with your, you're going to take this irreversible step at work. So you're already a badass. And it's just about completing the picture. You are. It's about completing the picture mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, so that all of Liz is in there, not just half of Liz. So that your mind, your heart, and your gut are fully involved. And then that's where the freedom and the fulfillment come for you. Does that make sense?
Oh,
does that resonate? Because the full Liz is absolutely beautiful.
Well, thank you, darling.
Do you feel complete? Or there's something else you want to chew on?
No, I just want to say something about my beautiful friend, Michele. And I might cry, so forgive me.
Don't make me cry.
There have been times in my life when things have been really tough. And I've been so lucky to have such fantastic people support me. You and I come from a community of amazing women. And I feel very, very blessed to be a part of that group of people, and they know who they are. And you are such an inspiration to me, because I watched you go from corporate America to being very brave and starting your own business, to dealing with the transitions that you had to go through for that, and reinventing yourself over and over and over, and being in a marriage that, while your first husband is an amazing guy, it just wasn't serving you anymore, right? And so it took a lot to do that. And you inspired me tremendously through that. And then I remember when you met Gary and you told me about him, and I had a feeling, and you're like, I don't know. I'm like, I know. But, you know, I'm so grateful for you, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I am receiving that with my whole heart. And the response that comes back to me is, I am you, darling. I am a mirror of you. Everything you see in me, I see in you. You've always inspired me with your outgoingness and your fun, and you're just wise. And I really believe we are mirror reflections of each other. So I love you dearly. And I thank you for, we have to remember we are still on a podcast, so I'm going to end it now.
I love you. I tried to rein myself in. I don't know if I worked. I'm crying all over the place here.
I love you. We're going to continue this conversation in the shy, and I'm going to end this module of Get Coached on Write Your Outcome. Thank you so much for being so beautiful and so willing to play here in this.
Thank you for having me.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Write Your Outcome with me, Michele Phillips. If something sparked in you and you enjoyed this podcast, please don't forget to rate, review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Let's keep these ripples going and make it a great day.